So you both spent the day at the nursery yesterday
Yeah.
for the first time with the children.
Yeah.
So which classroom were you in?
Bunnies.
Bunnies, and that was at
Yes.
LTO.
Yeah.
And you were at LTO as well. And which classroom were you in?
Bunnies.
And you were in the bunnies as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. So do you want to describe what time you arrived and what you saw, what your experience was, what you noticed?
Okay, let me think about it. I arrived at the bunnies room at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. And at that time there were 3 children in the classroom, and after 10 minutes all the children had come in, and that's an interesting thing. There is a very shy girl, and she is very quiet. She doesn't like to talk to the teacher. She just like to play alone. But I noticed her, and at first when I come in, I noticed her, and I just sit down and play with her, say something with her, and give her the toy, and then she smiled. Within 5 minutes, she came to me and used her hand wants to me hug, and I just hand in hand and go around the classroom, and the other teacher was very surprised, and they said she likes you. They can't believe. So that thing gave me a great confidence, and then that whole day I feel very good to communicate with the children, to talk and play with them. But there's still some problems. Some problem confuse me. For example, some children are very kindly or friendly, and they likes me. They want hug, but I think this is the first day, or maybe at first we better too close with the children. So I don't know how to set this problem, and sometimes there are two. I play with one girl, and another girl or another boy want to join, and she also want to play that toy or other or for example the Lego and something the children played. So they want to scrap both of them all want that thing. So I don't know give who. And if I give her, another girl will cry.
Yes.
So that's a problem. And sometimes at first I think there is another problem that I speak English. I think when I'm back home, I think that is not good, because I remember you said don't speak English, but sometimes when I say Chinese, they can't understand me. So yesterday I said some English as that is the third problem. And there is I found that some teachers are very good at tell story, but I also want to tell them a story, but I'm not good at that. So I want to improve it and learn some French song, because these all thing French song and English song, but the Chinese is not too much. So I want to make some Chinese join them. So I think Chinese song is a good way. So that's some points I noticed, and I want to improve myself. yesterday is a great experience. I will remember all my life.
Oh, great.
Yes, it's very great.
That's really
Thank you.
that's really nice to hear. Thank you. And your questions are really great questions. They're questions we can look at now, but they're also, you will have many questions. And then so noticing things that you have questions about and then finding out the answers will be a big part of your job, I suppose. So it's really good to notice things. And then when you see your room leader, often it's best to try to ask her. Because what I can give you some answers here, but each room is different, and even the bunny's room today will be different to the bunny's room in 3 months' time. The children's ages are a little bit different. Maybe some children have moved into the next classroom, into the penguins' classroom. So I can give you some ideas now, but it really depends on the classroom, on the children, on the teamwork, how the room leader wants to organize. So she's the best person to ask these types of questions, even though I'll give you some answers. But I think it's really good to notice these things, and then when you talk to a room leader, you can start asking these questions. And that's the perfect way to learn and to improve. Instead of just thinking, I don't know, and not asking anyone, to notice the question, to maybe write it down or remember it, and then to ask the room leader to discuss it. If you notice all of these things, you're going to do very well, because with these conversations and these questions, you will learn how to be a great person in the nursery.
Thank you.
So that's the most important thing, is to be open and to ask questions and to learn. So so you mentioned, of course, using some English. So it's a natural reaction. And I remember on the last time we had the training, some of the teachers said it can be frustrating. Just keep the frustration. And it's okay to feel a little bit frustrated. But the more English you use, the less interested. There's no reason to learn Chinese for the children if they know that you can just tell them in English. So there has to be a reason, there has to be a purpose for them to pay attention to the Mandarin. And at the beginning, the best way to give the purpose is for them not to understand. Because children really want to learn to understand the world around them. And so when they don't understand something, they want to. So maybe they want something now, they don't understand, they go somewhere else. But they came to you, they like you, so maybe later you'll do an activity that they want, or you'll be doing a song that they want, or you'll be reading a book that they like, or you'll go into the park that they like to go to. So then they'll come back again, and they will make the effort then. So that's, I do understand it's frustrating though.
And yesterday, there is a experience of a girl learn Chinese is very interesting. When I play with her, I always say 这个 and point that, and then she can say. So that is a great step of me.
on your first day?
Yeah.
That's great. What does 这个 mean?
This.
Yes.
Because she wants to this, and I won't give this to her, and I just give her and point that 这个.
And what is this? Was it paper? Was it food? Was it a toy?
Toy. Yeah.
So you can also
the wood, the
structure.
round wood. Just put it into the right place. The wood. So there are many woods. So I always say 这个.
Okay, great, perfect. You had some other questions about about sharing. I think you were saying about sharing, and you didn't want the children to cry. So with the younger children, it's very difficult. So children do not really understand the concept of sharing yet. They haven't learnt that. So we try to explain taking turns. But in the bunnies, it will be a little bit more difficult than with the older children. But even the older children, they understand, but they don't like it. but we try to explain, we take turns if we don't have to. Also, if a child is crying, we try to distract the child. So maybe right now the child is focusing on one thing, but actually, and if they can't have it, maybe they get upset. But maybe we can focus on something else. Children are easily, especially the younger children, the bunnies, they're easily distracted. Do you understand distracted?
Yeah.
And then other children wanting to join in, that's an interesting one. So it depends on what you are doing.
Yeah.
So if you're doing an activity, sometimes we can make it bigger, have more children. If we're reading a story, for example, there's no problem. So I think probably some of that is preparation in your planning, in the way that you think. As you do it more, you'll realise, oh, maybe I do this and more children want to join in. So just notice the other teachers, what do they do when other children want to join in? And what do you think? Have you had that before? Like you do something with one child and other children want to join in?
If other teachers say it's okay, we can have bigger group.
Yeah.
But like in the reading corner, now the rule is only 2 at a time. So I will ask them to wait for their turns. After this book, I can read other books to them. And also it's okay for you to ask them to do other activities first. Then you can, sometimes I say, if I finish this story, I will call you, and then that's your turn to listen to this story. Is that a good way?
That's a great way. That's a really great way.
You just do it according to the rule, because they said only 2 at a time.
So each room in each nursery will have slightly different rules. So that's why it's really great to talk to your room leader. So you'll see all of those, and those rules sometimes change as well. So.
And because I'm in the bigger group, the children with the older age, so they can understand the principle of sharing and waiting.
And order is important. They have to know one by one, one after one, right?
And sorry, can I ask whether it's a good point that it's okay for children crying, because it's kind of giving out their emotion, bad feelings. Because at first I felt so anxious when I heard children crying. I got so nervous, and also other teachers around you, they are observing you. So what you are going to do? So I got quite anxious when children began to cry. So.
But actually, there's no need to be anxious. That's a child's natural way of expressing himself or herself, and it is. We'll talk about it actually today, I think, about the emotional development of a child. And it's very important, and for both the development of emotional development, but also language development, expressing yourself is the first step. So if we just say stop, anyway, it doesn't work. And secondly, the children don't learn anything. They just learn to close their emotion. And then you can't develop. If you close something, you can't make it grow. And we want the children to grow and to learn to understand their emotions, and also to learn to communicate. And crying is the first step also of communicating. And you talked about telling a story. So it's really good that you notice some teachers are good at it. That's the first step. We talked a little bit about role models. So notice some teachers might be better at telling stories than other teachers. So notice and then try to copy the good one. And then if you read a story, it's good if you know the story first. So have a quick read, see what happens. So then your energy can change. It can go up when there's something really exciting, and you can change your voice, and then you can make it quiet and slow when you need to. So you can't do that if you don't know the story. You might get too excited too early, and then when something big happens, you can't get more excited because you're already excited. So you need to know the flow of the story first. And then also, if you know the story, you can use gestures a little bit more and facial expressions. So all of that really helps. And it's Chinese songs, absolutely. Songs are a great way to teach the children and to have vocabulary that you say many times. Like you were saying for, is it "zhege" for this? Like you said it many times and then the child recognized the word and said it. And it's the same with the song. Often, the same word comes many times. Or, you do the same song many times and children learn the words.
Yeah, I find the song is really amazing. It's just like miracle. When the children cry, all teacher will sing and they finally they stop and sing together. Just with their hands, they will turn happy again, forget what's happened.
That's
So
right.
song is a good way as they.
I forgot to check that it's recording. Yeah. And it's a little bit similar that I was saying that if a child is frustrated because they can't have one thing, you can distract the child. Singing is also a very good way to distract a child and to change the direction of focus. That's brilliant. Sounds like a really nice first day. How about you? What do you remember? How was your day?
Yeah, I experienced a lot as well, and to be honest, when I come before I come to the Banis, I worried a lot because I think the little children cannot see anything. But when I come to the room, this little boy say hello to me, Lucas. Her name is Lucas, and he gives me a 5.
Oh,
yeah,
great!
Yes. So it makes me very happy and confident. So when I play with them, and there's a little boy called Oscar.
Yes.
I think he is the youngest children, right? He just climbing and crawling.
Can't walk.
He can't walk and can't walk. But I try to say Chinese to him because he likes to eat everything, even at the table or anything. So I say no, fu, Chinese fu, and I use the gestures, and I think he understand me, yes. And then I say that word fu again and again to him. He just imitated me, yes, fu. When I told him fu, when he ate other things. Yeah, I think it works. There's, I really listened the children said other Chinese when they have lunch. They said they want more foods. They said 海药, yeah. I think they have. There's nothing is impossible. I think, yeah. And another thing I think is the safety, because when there's how to say the steps, the stairs in the bunnies, yeah. When they walking up to the upstairs or downstairs, they always like to handle something like their toys, but it's unsafe. But I don't know the unsafe thing before. And the room leader told me when they upstairs or downstairs, we should ask them handle nothing, because they should clubbing us and keep themselves safe. And there's something makes me nervous because children like crying. I don't know how to stop their crying. And when they have lunch, some children don't maybe they don't like eating or can't finish their lunch. I don't know how to make them finish their lunch, but I think other teachers is good at helping them to finish their lunch. And when they're sleeping, I don't know how to help them. Yeah, but I think Juan know that because we just this way, you know. Because I haven't looked after the babies before. Yes, I don't know how to help them falling, sleeping. So I think there's many things I should learn.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
That's great.
Yeah.
Remember, this is your first day
Yeah.
at the nursery.
Yeah,
And
okay.
we do some training, but then also you will have time to speak to the room leaders, to ask them questions,
Yeah.
and you've noticed a lot in one day. So after 1 week, you will know not 5 times as much, but much more, because at the beginning you notice the big things, and then once you understand the routine and okay, now it's lunchtime, now they sleep, afterwards you start to notice the details.
Yeah.
And you'll see the same situation happen many times, lunchtimes every day, for example, and you will see different teachers looking after the children. So sometimes there'll be one teacher maybe next to a child, and maybe the child is the same the next day, but it's a different teacher next to him or her. And so maybe she does it differently. And you'll start to notice these details, and you'll be able to compare different techniques.
Yeah, they sing songs or play games with them.
Yeah.
And some children just stop crying.
Yeah. And it's interesting, you also noticed your own emotions. You noticed you were anxious.
Yeah.
And that's interesting and important, because when you notice that, maybe the children notice as well. And so if you're anxious, it's difficult to give confidence to a child. But when you've seen it many times, and you've seen other children and other teachers in that same situation, it will feel familiar, and you will feel less anxious. And everybody knows you're new. So it's true the other teachers look at you, but it's also true that they know that you're new. And if they see you asking questions, and they see you observing the other teachers, and they see you learning, they're going to love you, and they're going to respect you. And it'll be the same for the children. So this is a natural reaction, and it's good. It's natural and it's good, and you will learn. So when the boy Lucas said hello to you, did he say hello in English?
English.
And what did you say?
你好.
Very good, very good. And also, if you said you were nervous, for example, when a child was crying, so just notice what the other teachers do.
Yeah.
And maybe with your eyes you can also communicate to a teacher if you need help, because it is at the beginning. And if a teacher maybe isn't looking at you and is busy, they probably think, oh, there's a child crying, that's not unusual, a teacher is doing what they need to do. It's also okay to ask for help if you really, at the beginning, if you don't know what to do, maybe the other teachers haven't noticed. That's also possible. And also just be reassuring, be calm, be reassuring. Eye contact really helps with the children, because sometimes we can feel, I don't know what to do, and we look everywhere. But actually just calm eye contact, kindness, soothing words. Maybe you can pat the child gently. Notice what the other teachers do. Eye contact is often something that is missing when I'm in the bunny room. Also sometimes the penguins room. Because there are two things that you have to do. You have to look at the child, but you also have to look at what else is happening in the classroom. Because it's true one child might be crying, but we don't want another child to do something dangerous. So we do have to look a little bit everywhere.
Yes.
But when a child is crying, just looking at the child in the eyes makes a big difference. They see that you're paying attention. They're crying because they want something to change, and they see you looking.
Yeah.
That can make a big difference.
Yeah.
But notice the other teachers and see which ones are the most effective. For food as well.
Yeah.
So we want the children to eat enough, and we want them to try everything.
Yeah.
But they do not have to finish everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it is in China. When I was young in France, we had to finish everything in our plate. But that is not our philosophy. Of course, we want to encourage the children so that they're not hungry. But you've probably noticed we have quite a lot of different types of food. So if a child doesn't finish everything of the first bit, it's okay, there's more food coming, and then there's more food coming, and then there's like fruit at the end. So the idea is that even if the child does not enjoy one type of food, there's other types of food.
Yeah.
So that helps. But it is important that the child tastes everything. So we can't force them, but we can really encourage them just to taste.
Encourage them.
Because if there's a new flavour, a child has to taste it many times before the child is confident to eat it. So tasting it is the first step. It's actually, food is also an education. So some children will like something straight away, and some children will enjoy trying new things. Other children are anxious or nervous and it doesn't feel familiar.
Yeah.
All they have to do is taste it, and then they will have it again in the future, and they'll taste it, and then again and again in the future. And then one day it will be familiar, and then they will actually eat it and see if they like it or not. But at the beginning, sometimes it's just unfamiliar. Okay, sounds like 2 really good first days. I'm really proud of you. Like, it sounds like you had a good attitude and open, and you noticed, and that's great. Thank you. Is there anything you want to add from? Was there anything they said that you want to add a comment?
About the Chinese stories and Chinese songs, I think if you have the interesting Chinese story books in our nursery, maybe they will help. I don't know whether you have the
Yeah, we have no Chinese
story
books.
We have
I don't know.
very big one, and they like it. About the fruit, body parts, appearances, something like that, and also the songs. You can try to. I think the easiest way is to find the Chinese version of English songs, like Twinkle Twinkle Star, yeah, something like that. And in Chinese New Year, Christmas, they sing the song, and we taught them the Chinese Happy New Year in Chinese. They learn it very quickly.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to stop the video. And